Good morning, Richard. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, Mike. My legs are still tired, and I picked up a little cold late last week, so still
Ah,
struggling a little bit this morning, but we're going to power through. We've got a new release today. We're going to be recording another podcast episode later this morning, so I'm going to tough it out as far as I can get all day long and have some fun.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's all in the name of CAD.
That's
Well, it's a beautiful Monday morning here in Boston, and I'm getting back to reality after a really awesome week at LiveWorks. I spent a lot of time with a lot of people last week. It was good to see some folks in person that I'd never met before in real life. So, even some coworkers and things like that. Onshape's grown quite a bit since we stopped traveling as much and everything. So it was really good to get everybody together and see everybody and the customers. And it was just a great time last week. And we're going to talk more about it in the podcast that we're going to be recording later today. So you'll see that very soon. You'll see it very soon. And if you weren't able to join us, we hope you can join us virtually for that show, and then in real life next year, because I think you really want to come if you can.
I think what we have to show the folks in the podcast episode this week will guarantee their attendance next year. So
yeah.
Let's welcome a couple of guests first. We've got Win Van Thong, hello Win, and Keiska. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pronounce that. Hope I did okay. Christian Blanc is here with us today. How about that?
Hey Christian, how you doing? Yeah, so even LiveWorks last week didn't stop the Onshape team from getting another release out. Of course, agile product sprints every 3 weeks. It's always awesome to see that process happen. Welcome back to the show, Sebastian. Glad to see you here. 6 Miles Tall is also here, Richard.
Yep, and good old Eduardo joins us, I think, just about every live stream. Hello, Eduardo. Good to see you.
Hello, Eduardo. Hopefully you're having a nice afternoon there. Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks for everything that you do, too, translating the update into Spanish and everything. It's really a great service, so thank you for that.
Yep, absolutely. And there's our good friend, Brian LaGrange, as well.
Brian LaGrange from Louisiana. How are you doing? Always good to see you. This is one of my favorite rituals every 3 Mondays.
Yep.
It's nice having it on a Monday morning, the show. So let's get right into it. There's several very, very nice quality of life improvements that we can jump into. And the first thing, let's get my thing. Thanks for that, Richard. Renaming folders is a new thing that, obviously we've been able to rename folders, right? we wouldn't be able to get very far without renaming a folder.
Yeah.
But the way we're renaming the folders is quite cool, I think. Right?
I agree. I was glad to see this one listed first because it really is a great change. It looks, very simple on the surface, but this is really nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to open up this lawnmower here. Right. And we've had this ability to inline, kind of rename documents. Right. So you like right up here, so I put a little emoji in here and, here's my e-lawnmower. We'll call it the e-lawnmower 2000 or something. It sounds like, some kind of powerful product name. But there, that's you can rename documents, in line, like that. Right. And, I'll just get rid of that. But another cool thing that you can do, even with, documents open here, I'm in full screen here, so it's going to let me command add to the other side.
Well, you're getting there. We'll welcome Ron Tiso from Switzerland. Nikhil is here with us, an Onshape programmer from India. WHGRD Media. I wonder if that's like maybe an agent that's looking to sign us, Mike.
Yeah. I know. It's coming up to be that time, Richard.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I got a lawnmower. It's open, right? It's open on purpose, just so I can prove a point. So I have these folders here, right? This lawnmower uses stuff in these folders, right? And maybe instead of calling this folder electrical, I want to call it, purchased or something. Purchased electrical, right? purchase. Oh, I got a spell this morning. Oh my gosh. Purchased. There we are. I think that's it. I have to take another swig of coffee this morning. But, I renamed that folder and, I could rename it there, but you can also rename it, while you're kind of in that folder, right? So here are all my purchased electrical components, right? And I can just go in here as well.
Right from the breadcrumbs.
Right from the breadcrumbs while I'm in the folder, while I have this open. Of course, you know this, Richard. And I take this for granted all the time in Onshape. But you can't do that in any other CAD system, can you? You can't rename something with like something open using, like this lawnmower is using those parts in that folder. And I was able to rename that folder without closing it and losing references or breaking anything or getting warning messages. Okay, so
and you're right. You can't do that with a file-based system or any other CAD system. You'll get that Microsoft error that tells you, sorry, that file's open. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah, it's just the way file-based physics are, but we don't work with files, so we don't have those problems.
Yeah.
So inline rename, of course, you need to have the right to edit the folder and stuff like that to rename it. You can't just go willy-nilly renaming folders, that causing chaos.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, it could be. All right. What's next on the list, Richard?
I thought you were doing the banners, but let's take a look. How about FEATURESCRIPT shortcuts? I had the extreme pleasure of meeting Chad Stoltzfus last week at LiveWorks. Got a little video of him that we're going to show later on today. What a great guy, and what a great job he did in his presentation. I sat through that one. Very well done.
Chad's great. He's works at Premier Custom Built, makes cabinets. We've had him on the show, of course. And he's been a long time friend of Onshape. Really great human. And awesome at FEATURESCRIPT. So anything that can like make the productivity of people using FEATURESCRIPT even better is great. And we've had shortcuts for quite some time. We just haven't shared them with the rest of the world as I think we should have. When you're in FEATURESCRIPT, it's all about productivity and creating code really quickly, right? So let's just start a new document. I don't have anything ready for this one, unfortunately. So but here I can go ahead and actually let's open an existing Feature Studio because that will look a little bit better. So let's go to the Spur Gear. We'll open up that linked document and it'll take a copy of my own so I can make some edits. All right, so there's my Professor Spur Gear. Bit of the coffee that just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
You and me both, buddy.
And there are different shortcut keys available. Of course, here are the keyboard shortcuts in Onshape. Now we have a nice Feature Studio section, of course, right here. So escape obviously is dismissing autocomplete. Control Apple button or Shift F. Control Apple button or Control or Apple button and Shift and F is a search, right? So let's do that, right? So like in a browser, you have Shift F, right? And or Command F, and that's how I get to it on a Mac. Just Command F. And there's my search, but it's my FEATURESCRIPT search. So if I'm looking for teeth here, there's all the instances and I can highlight them all. And, I have everything here. So, you have keyboard shortcuts. Of course, in the forums, there was a good discussion on the full list of keyboard shortcuts that are exposed for anybody doing FEATURESCRIPT, just because, it's standard kind of browser and programming stuff. There are other shortcuts that you can really use, but we're really just, kind of publishing the Onshape specific, really specific ones. I keep hitting the forms button. Where's the keyboard shortcuts? There we are. But, these are the ones that, most people, would consider to be like specific, I think, to feature.
FEATURESCRIPT, I think for me, I think commit all would be the one that I would be afraid to use.
That one's you got to have right there.
Yeah, you got to be pretty confident there.
That's right. That's right. So if I go back to the forums, actually, I just want to take a peek at that forum post. So maybe not. I'm not signed in there. Go over here. All right. I'll come back later. Sorry.
Yeah.
You don't want to see me hunting for my password. So yeah, that's the latest update, FEATURESCRIPT shortcuts.
Beautiful.
Next up is snapping inferences improvements in sketching, right? So let's just move this to my what's new folder, just because I like keeping things organized.
Yeah.
There's that.
And we just move folders around. No big deal.
No big deal. Let's go to the sketching that Dave and Yuen had created here for us on the forum post. So new in this update, if you have these like dog bone type shapes and things, right? These are common type shapes, and sometimes they're a little, the more you create these, the easier it is to build these. So I have a 3-point arc. Go here, and see that how it's just snapping right in, like really nice. See that little symbol up here on top and bottom?
Yep.
Now it's fully tangent here and coincident here, tangent there. It's just like it's 180-degree arc, so it just pops in there. Really nice, right?
I like that, and in combination with the update, with last update, with the circle or line to circle or line to arc functionality, just adds to the tool set here.
Exactly. All right. What else do we have? We have elliptical arcs as well, right? So here's an elliptical arc. And you see how it's snapping. Well, that was snapping right under there. Let's go further away so I don't snap accidentally to but you see how it's snapping right there to that quadrant point here, quadrant point here, right? And now I can, continue on with my shape here. Looks like the bullet from Super Mario Brothers. That
I love it.
All of you, yeah. So yeah, that's much easier to construct those things. I mean, I've had discussions recently with people about this, and I'm just so happy that these improvements are making it in just to make sketching that 1% easier. It really is a nice quality of life thing.
Well, of course, it's the basis for almost everything you do. Sketching.
Exactly. And then of course I can just stick a line here, and well, I would have to draw a line all the way across to revolve that thing, but I don't need to right now. All right. So that is the latest improvements to sketching, snapping to 180-degree increments on arcs and quadrant points on ellipses. All right, let's go into my spur gear that I've got here, and we'll put a hole in it. Let's make this spur gear slightly bigger here. So it's 2 inches. All right, and I'll put a hole in here. So what is the new improvement for the hole tool? Well, we can add for tapped holes. So I'm going to do a through hole, simple, right? And it's going to be a tapped hole, and I'm going to, drill it, through the center point.
Yep.
All right, and let's see if we can get this. An ANSI, 1/4 inch, threads per inch. Well, let's do threads per inch, 20, 1/4 20, 75. Looks good. What am I missing here?
Did you not get updated yet, perhaps, on this existing document?
Good call, because that was an existing, I think it was, well, I copied it, so let's just do this. Yeah, there we are. You're right, Richard. Yep. Thank you.
All right. I contributed something this morning.
No, you always do. You contribute greatly. All right, there we are. So I'll just create a block here. And I'll put 4 holes in here. I'm feeling saucy, so I'm just gonna offset this. It's a little trick I like to use. We'll say a 10mm offset inward, like that. We'll use a hole, and I'll pick the sketch as the input. And see what that does, Richard? It automatically puts those in. So we'll go 1/4, 20, and we got our thread class options now right here. Right. And, let's, of course, the whole table shows up here. Right. So we'll say through all 2B. But of course, you have 1B, 2B, 3B for that size. And we'll call that machined part. Looks good. And you can see right here in the whole table, we got actually let me switch my units here just so this isn't as confusing. Go 3. So that way we have the hole here, 1/4 20, 2B through with the drill diameter here, also through quantity of 4, right? We can also, of course, create a drawing of that. And that information would, of course, then ripple through, to
the whole call out.
The whole call out, right? So you can see here, I have a template here. It automatically puts the center lines in. We have the dash lines in for the, for that view. We'll just show the shaded view here. We'll stick in the whole call out, right here. Of course, even better, I think you could use a whole table or something like this. It's pretty simple, but, X and Y right here. Looks good to me. And it's labeling each of the holes. So you don't even need a whole call out in this particular case because, we're calling it out that way. Everything's all set there. The only thing you'd have to do is, start putting in your dimensioning scheme. Of course, might as well go full ordinate for this type of, drilling, 2.5 axis type part. All right.
Yep, adding that thread class just it kind of reminds me of the old days in drafting, and back before we used to add another designator, either UNC or UNF, but I think that's been obsoleted by the fact that you can tell whether or not you have coarse or fine threads by the whole call out itself. So
right. And of course, if you really feel like you need to add that information, you can type it in.
Yep.
But this is standard stuff that you want to see the thread options, you're going to get them. So I always thought it was pretty cool here that when you hover over a table on a drawing, Richard, see what it's doing?
Yeah, it shows highlights the hole.
Yeah, highlights the hole. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially on a complex drawing with hundreds of holes, right?
Yeah. Hey, Onshape's pretty cool. If I do say so myself.
Indeed. All right, let's see here. What is next? Okay, I see what's next. I'm just gonna save this as a whole thread. All right, next up, let's go to something with a simulation in it. I got some brake calipers here. All right.
Okay.
So with simulation, newly created loads will be suppressed automatically. And the reason for this is quite simple, right? So, if we go over here to the simulation panel, we can see that we have, several studies. We have one simulation here, another simulation here. We have force 1, force 2, acceleration 1, and it's unsuppressed in the first one, but suppressed in the second one indicated by this checkbox being kind of empty. So
not checked.
Exactly. So, if I create another simulation, so you just hit that at the bottom, it gives you a third column here now, right? This one's here because it was active already, but I could uncheck and check that again. If I were to create another, if I'm going to do a moment on this instant right here in that direction, and I'm active in this simulation 1. That's why it added it to simulation 1, but it is not added to simulation 2 or 3, as you can see right here, right?
Yep.
So that's working exactly right. Of course, now my simulation's not happy because this moment doesn't make much sense in here, so I'll just get rid of it. But, you know, I'm okay in the other, if I made the other one active, right? I can set that one active, you know, and this one will run just fine because I had set it up previously. So that's the whole point of this, right? You're setting up simulations. You don't want to break your other simulations.
That makes sense.
That's exactly what this is for. So I just demonstrated why this is a good feature. But yeah, this is the you know, results for that particular simulation. So if you haven't had a chance to play with the Onshape simulation tool, available for everybody on Onshape Pro, Onshape Enterprise, it's extremely sophisticated simulation software. To run a simulation on this set of brake calipers is not an easy feat in other simulation tools, especially the setup of it. And because of the way the Onshape mates work, you can see where the mates are. I've highlighted them right here. All the mates actually are there to help you define your load path and how things are assembled. And you can even see the connection points, you know, with this connection browser if you want. But it's really, really cool to have simulation at your fingertips like this. All right. What is next? We have on iOS. Let's go to the, I'm using my iPad right now for one of my displays, so I can't show you my iPad live. So I'm going to go to the post. In this release right here, so let me just pop open. This is my iPad here. You can see it's the same account that I've been using here to show you here, but this is just a screen movie of my iPad. So you can see here, here's my account that I've been using, right? And then if I go to my iPad, that's what it looks like here. And you can see that everything's grouped nicely, right? You know, either in grid view or list view, we have these nice sections that we can now get into. So now I can get into that publication. Instead of hunting around for the publication, I can see it clearly listed just like it is on my browser version. That's really the point of this, right? Is that this looks like that now, right?
Yeah.
This, that. Okay, so that's the point, right? Everything, it's a better UI experience, more consistent UI between the different versions of the iPad version and the web browser version. And Richard, you have an Android device, right?
I do. And, you know, I got to pull it out a few times last week. I was showing off my upcoming entry into Render Battle 3, which if our guests haven't heard about that, check the forums, look for a post by Michael Pasco. Voting starts June 1st. We're doing monster trucks with this battle. So I encourage people to get involved with that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was very nice to meet Michael Pasco last week. I saw him at the show with the CAD Sharp folk over there. It was really nice to see Michael. But in this update, you know, we have a very simple update, but, you know, just to make the UI more consistent on the Android version, here we have a robotic leg from like one of those robotic dogs here. And now you can filter the list in Android here in part studios or assemblies, right? So if you're looking for particular objects, or you're looking for like, you know, what's causing that issue, or why am I not seeing that part? Oh, it's because it's suppressed. Or, you know, I want to search my mates, right, to find the part that, you know, or find the mate that enables us to move in a certain way, right? So it just makes it way easier to find things at your fingertips, right? If you're on a phone or tablet on the Android environment to find what you're looking for.
Very nice.
That's really what it is, yeah. All right. So that was filters for Android. Let's go back to drawings, your favorite topic.
I love drawings. Let's do a bunch of them.
All right. All right, let's go over here. I think I have a drawing in this document. Auxiliary view defined inline. All right. So do I have anything in here that's good for that? No. Let's go to here. Let's see. Whole thread class. Fast Part Studio. Oh, this one probably, it looks like I have stuff at a weird angle that I could use. Create a drawing of this. Not the hitch, but the link. Create a drawing of the link. Link in honor of the new Nintendo game,
Legend of Zelda. I don't know if I've actually mentioned this on the air before, but I was really, really good at the 2D version of the Legend of Zelda. I beat that game dozens of times. And then they came out with the 3Ds and the joysticks and the extra buttons, and I was just lost.
Yeah, it's a different world for sure. All right, let's create an auxiliary view. There we are, auxiliary view. I like using the inline option that we released last week. Or actually this, yeah, that's exactly what we did. Yeah. So inline versus normal, right? Normal, like this would be normal, right? You would just pull it normal to the edge like that, right? But if you had like a line that was somehow, you know, here, well, maybe I want to pull an auxiliary view in this direction, you know, from, you know, in line with this 45-degree kind of angle here. So I'll go in line, select an axis reference. There we are. So we can do it that way instead. I kind of like the ISO look of this as well. I'm going to switch that up to, let's see here. Annotations, views, here we are. So auxiliary views, I kind of like this look that we updated in the last update as well, just because I think it takes up less space.
Uses nice and clean. Yeah.
Nice and clean, exactly. Nice and clean. So yeah, that's doing it inline now instead of you know, perpendicular to the base. So
always love the drawing improvements.
Absolutely. What else there? I think, was that it?
Getting to the end, I believe.
Yeah, auxiliary view defined in line. All right, very good.
Yeah,
Section
header stuff. Education is always gets an update every 3 weeks.
Yep. They've been really going hard on the education dashboards lately. You can see in almost every update there's been improvements to this, and Onshape education is really special, right? I mean, you're not just getting a CAD system, nor are you just getting a sharing and collaboration system. You're also getting a tool that provides instructors of Onshape incredible tools for managing their classes and courses that they're teaching at their universities and schools.
There's enough information for those educators that they could create a complete curriculum around Onshape.
Yeah,
just with the resources that Onshape provides.
That's right. All of these tools are here to help you manage these courses so you can spend more time on the actual creative work versus the administrative work, right? That's what these tools are for. So this updated dashboard feed just shows more relevant information in the sidebar analytics that are available in the classes in the PCC Education Enterprise, Onshape Education Enterprise platform. So it's really special, you know, what's happening with this. So if you haven't considered using Onshape in your schools, if you're if you have students in university, school listening right now, or if you're a parent of one or associated with one, yeah, see what they're using for CAD. Let them know about Onshape. It's really the right thing to do.
Funny, I got a quick funny story as I was heading back from Boston back to Las Vegas, and I was chatting folks up in the we were getting ready, we were boarding the plane there, and I'm chatting folks up in the runway, and somebody mentions a rocket robotics startup here in Las Vegas. So of course I turned around and started talking with this gentleman and asked him what CAD system they were using. He didn't know, so of course I pitched Onshape, told him where to find the information. Just then the fellow behind him turns around and says, "Oh, hey, I know you. You do that podcast."
Oh, that's awesome.
So So hopefully, I didn't catch the gentleman's name. We were all getting, rushing to get onto the plane. So hopefully he'll hear this, or watch one of our episodes and get back in touch with me. I'd love to reach out to to that startup robotics company here in Las Vegas and see what I can do to help them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of robotics in Vegas with the battle bots that you work with, but this is hardcore industrial stuff. This sounds great.
Yeah.
One other thing I did want to mention, it relates to PCB Studio. So if you haven't seen PCB Studio, let me share my screen here.
Second way to do some keep outs here.
Exactly. So there are some people that use more than the prescribed keep outs. There's this other keep out that is available called Other Outline that you can add into a design. So actually, let me open it up here just to explain this. All right, we'll go into what's new here. All right, so I have this PCB right here, and I have this outline, and I've called it Other Outline. Now, how did I get that in there? Well, back in my original Studio tab, I went to the board file, or board component, I should say.
Yeah.
And I added a sketch in here called Other Outline, right?
And that's important. That's how PCB Studio recognizes things, is with those unique names, unique identifiers.
That's right. You can find a full list in the help, but it's right here. So Other Outline, if it's spelled either one of these ways, it will find it. And if you go to PCB Studio, it understands this, right? So here I have, let's see, did I update this one yet? I did. Okay. So it will show up over here as well. If I go over here, there's the Other Outline right in the list here. So you can see Other Outline. Yep. So if you import something from Altium or some other PCB Studio, PCB tool, and you have another outline in there, people use these for pad outlines or, in fact, solder mask, exactly, those kind of things. There are other keep out areas that you might define as like, okay, this is my hardware keep out, this is my software keep out, this is where I'm going to have my RF. This is all this stuff you could like define little zones of keep out in to have consistent interface between MCAD and ECAD. It's just one more outline type that's supported and will pass back and forth when you import or export. Right. And just so everybody's clear, PCB Studio, this is like the tab where PCBs kind of come and go, like from ECAD to MCAD. This is like the middle kind of meeting room, if you will, where you negotiate the differences between the ECAD and the MCAD, and you can push and pull from each direction, right? So if I import an ECAD file into here, here's my a previous version, so it should look different than what I have here. And it will just take a second to refresh here. If I come back here, see what happened here?
Yep.
How that notch is gone. And that keep out area is no longer here because that newer updated PCB did not have that information. So that's what happened. And then in the last update of Onshape, we could tell it to create a new assembly, but in the last update prior to this one, we added the ability to update the existing assembly, right? And if there were any keep in and keep out areas, we could do that. So this will actually update the existing assembly here, right? And we should see that change quickly. And I must have done something really weird with the board for that board to disappear. I must have done something really weird. Oh, no, there it is. I was just working on it. Okay. Sorry. It took a second. And there's the board right there. And the keep out areas that I told it to bring through, but not the other one because the other one doesn't exist in the new one I brought in. So this really helps you keep up to date with your ECAD and MCAD tools, right? As you can see now. You can support all these different outlines. We can support the updates. Very easy. You obviously just create a new version here in Onshape. I would probably release this actually in real life here. Now that I have that new update, the board is going from board assembly is going from Rev B to Rev C. All the parts were already released. We didn't have to worry about that. And now we have a new board going in with a new part number, right? So really easy to go ahead and get your circuit boards out. There it is. It's being released right now. And if I went to that ECO that is released, you can see all the released parts, including the board, which is now released as well at Rev A.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking of PCB Studio, it was nice to see Rob Lacey last week. Came all the way over from Ireland and joined us at LiveWorks.
It's always good to have our folks from the Isles.
Yep.
I think that's about it for the updates. It's always good to kind of see the forum posts and the excitement, especially when it's released over the weekend. The first person to say hello after it's released on a Friday night gets a special point. It's always good to see the comments coming in, from the forum. So
that's a good comment there. The full round filleting. I like that.
Full round filleting in 2D. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it's really, really good to have another Onshape update. Good point here by Eduardo. And Brian, thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks for joining us. We had quite a crowd today, Mike.
Did we? Good.
And, yeah. So thanks to everybody that joined us today. Please come back in 3 weeks. We'll have another live stream. And check out our podcast episode this week, episode 45. We'll be talking all about what we did and what we saw at LiveWorks. Not sure when that's going to drop. Maybe tomorrow, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But if you subscribe to our channel here, to our show here, you'll be notified each and every time a new episode posts.
That's right.
Just a thought from an old wise guy.
All right, Richard. Well, we'll see you in a couple hours.
I'll be here.
Take care. Have fun. Bye-bye.